Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today on my show about all things spiritual. Today I want to share a story with you. It's a personal story, it's my story. Not a story I've shared with like too many people because it's pretty intense, and just thinking about it right now makes me feel very intense. So just a warning, it's pretty intense. So anyway, about the year 1995, I decided to enroll in the U.S. Army. I was like a lot of people who joined the military. I'm not saying all people, but my case was kind of similar to a lot of the people that I met when I went to basic training, in that the employment I had at the time was no longer, and it was minimum wage at that anyway. I was living with my sister and her 2 kids, and that was becoming an inconvenience. So I knew I had to do something quick, but I didn't know what I was going to do because I felt like my skills are very limited. You know, I'm more of an artist and not really a computer programmer or a cashier, which I've done for ages. And I was up one night, and like it always is, you're up at night and all these kinds of commercials are on. I was in a really downer mood because I knew I had to move out soon, and I saw the ad for the typical commercial for the U.S. Army, be all that you can be and all this stuff. So yeah, so I'm like, that's probably going to be what I need to do. I mean, there's nothing else I can think of because pretty much, not knowing what I'm going to do because I don't really have any assistance. So decided to enroll in the Army. I'm not going to make this a very long story, but just enough details so you get the point. So anyway, I enrolled in the Army, passed the tests and all that. Got in my flew into South Carolina to Fort Jackson. And sometimes I have a hard time remembering the name of the Army base, Fort Jackson, because it was such a traumatic experience. But anyway, here we go on with the experience. I got there the first night, and it was really dark. The atmosphere was very eerie. There's a lot of other people that are just got there, just like me, brand new, fresh, right off the, bus. And like, I look around and it was just so depressing. Everything was dark. I mean, not just the fact that it was nighttime, but it's just like a dark feeling, very, I don't know, very angry and just like robotic at the same time, if that makes any sense. So speaking of robots, as I was like waiting in line, I guess, for like getting signed in and all this kind of stuff, I was just looking around, taking in my new environment that I'm going to be living in for a little bit, for a few months. And I was just like, man, I don't know what the hell I did. This just looks not like me. I don't belong here. And then I see like a group of soldiers marching, looking totally vacant, no feeling or expression at all. And they're like going, death, kill, death, death, kill. And I'm like, oh, fuck, what have I done? What have I done? I mean, maybe I should have just, found another minimum wage job. I would have been better off. So anyway, I'm getting to where I'm looking around, taking in the atmosphere, and I know right then and there that I don't belong there. It's obvious. And so I went through, without going through every single detail of my experience there, I went through a lot of challenging times when I was there. For one, because I'm just not the type of person who likes to be told when to wake up, yelled at, having to address somebody by sir or yes sergeant or yes this, that, and that. it just doesn't feel comfortable to me. I mean, when I talk to somebody, I don't want to feel like I'm on a different level. I want to be on the same level as that person, and I don't want to feel like that person is so much higher above me, like a parental figure or something like that. So anyway, I went through a lot of problems with, I guess you would call me insubordinate, because we were in this class. We were learning something, I don't know what it was, and it's hard for me to concentrate when I don't really want to be there. But I had to go pee really bad because they make us drink so much water. Anyway, I raised my hand and I said, can I go to the bathroom? They're like, no. So I got up and left anyway. Forget that. I'm not going to hold my bladder and get sick for you. So anyway, I went to use a bathroom, trying to find a bathroom. Couldn't find one anywhere. That place was crazy. And then this sergeant came up to me, and I guess I was supposed to salute him or whatever, greet him. And I just wasn't in the mood. I was just so angry, so depressed, so feeling like, why did I do this? Why wasn't there any other option that I could think of? It seemed like a desperate attempt. So anyway, the sergeant didn't like that I didn't address him. I just said, I gotta go pee. I took off. He's all, get down and do 20 push-ups. Nope. I'm gonna get down. I'm gonna get out of here and go find a bathroom. So anyway, I mean, just as an example of how I was when I wasn't in basic training. I just wasn't interested, the M16 rifles. I mean, they were supposed to be kept nice and neat and clean and all this stuff. But then when you got this racist, jerk yelling at you, making you nervous, saying racial slurs, it was just horrific what I had to deal with drill sergeants. So, and that's a personal experience. I mean, maybe not everybody experienced racism or sexism within, the Army, but that's just my own personal experience. So I would tell them every day that I made a mistake. I don't want to be here. Can you just send me home? No, they didn't want to do that. You signed your name, you raised your hand, the oath, all this stuff. You can't just get out just like that. And I thought, oh, great. So I tried to do the best I could, and then I started getting injured. I had a really bad backache. Went into the military doctor. They prescribed me some pain pills, big thing of pain pills and stuff. So got that taken care of for a little while. But the physical activity that was involved there, I was really, really in shape before I joined the military. I was able to do 100 push-ups and a lot of sit-ups as well. And I could run because I ran all the time. Nowadays I don't because my body's so injured. But anyway, yeah, they just ran me to the ground more than I could handle, and the shouting and then going into the gas chamber. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, that's a form of abuse. Putting people in this gas chamber, having them inhale this gas, and then you can't. They'll tell you how long that you have to hold it. You just have to be in there with the gas mask off, inhaling this toxic gas. And of course everybody's gonna get sick. I mean, as soon as they let us out of there, I mean, my nose is running, I'm crying, and there's somebody behind me throwing up, and then there's some jerk, some drill sergeant taking a videotape of it, it's funny, it's they get their kicks off of people feeling miserable. So anyway, I mean, it was just a lot of instances like that were there that just really ticked me off, and just seeing how they treated people. It was just, these are the people that are going to go and fight for you, and they're going to go, I guess, so keep the world safe, and you're treating them like shit, you know what I mean? And so anyway, I got to this point where I just didn't want to be there. I still didn't want to be there, People, were trying to encourage me and say, keep going, and, other Like my buddy, everybody has a buddy when you join the army, someone that follows you around, stays with you, and all that. Anyway, she was trying to convince me, just don't take it personally, just keep going and all that. And it's like I just felt like it's easy for her to say because she had a different perspective. I mean, she was white, she was female, and she looked a certain way. I looked like none of the above, and I was treated like crap. So she was very kind. I liked her a lot. We became really good friends when we were there. But it's just like when you're a certain person, you end up experiencing life differently than somebody else. When you look differently on the outside, people aren't gonna treat you the same way, and that's just a fact. Okay. It's not me talking about how the whole world's racist. I'm just saying it's just a fact. So anyway, it was just too much to handle. I mean, I don't belong in a place like that. I'm an artist, and they had us building trenches or digging trenches and stuff. I'm busy sitting there writing poetry. I'm getting in trouble left and right. They just would do things that humiliate me, and if I talked to anybody else, they would just say, "Oh, that's just what they do. They break you down so they can rebuild you into the perfect soldier." And that's exactly it. You just become a robot. So anyway, they got to the point where they were sick of me because I wasn't doing everything that they wanted me to do. They saw that I was physically fit and that I would make the perfect soldier if only I would just behave and just do what they told me to do. And I just couldn't do it. There was something in me that just kept being rebellious, no, I don't want to do this. Just send me home. I made a mistake. What is the problem with just sending me home if I don't want to be here? I mean, why are you holding me here if I don't want to be here? I felt like I was being held captive or something. It was ridiculous. So anyway, they just they let my whole platoon graduate. I even got qualified on the rifle, on the M16 rifle. I passed all that. And they just told me, you know what, you just your platoon's going to pass without you. You're going to stay here. You're going to stay here forever. And you're going to hold down KP